Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And the media continues to make Superman political. Now we've got all kinds of articles written about, the right wing being mad and MAGA's being mad. And then we got this ridiculous comic strip making the rounds now. About this guy.
Mark Wade has to get
and
in
Mark
there.
Wade. We're going to talk about Mark Wade. And it's so stupid. Like,
buckle up, guys, because I am so pissed. I have so many things to say. Get your popcorn. Turn your volume down, because here I come.
Is this marketing? Is this what they're trying to? Are they trying to drum up controversy and get people to watch the movie? I mean,
because what makes me mad is I know there's a lot of people on the right who really liked it, and there's a lot of people on the left who didn't like it. And then, but the majority of people are just like, it's the majority, the normies who might lean left or lean right, is who we're talking about here. And they're trying to paint anyone with a broad brush yet again. They're trying to make it political when it wasn't political. And it's stupid because a couple commenters, on the far right had some comments. And so now the far left is trying to use it as a battering ram to shove political opinions down your throat, mostly centered on immigration. Mark Wade is going on about bullying, when it's ironic to me, given who he is and what he's done. And a lot of it is to do about, well, Superman represents kindness. And I'm like, well, if people aren't kind to you, there's a damn good reason.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about this. There's a lot to unpack here, and this whole thing. Again, the discussion around Superman, if you go back and watch our review and you go back and watch a previous video about this, the discussion around Superman is actually more interesting than the movie itself, but it's become this lightning rod, and it very much is like The Last Jedi, where, depending on which way you look at it, it's going to, it's trending, so all these outlets are going to glom onto it, and everybody's going to have opinions on it.
And again, they're turning it, and then they're going to ruin Superman's box office because they're turning it into a thing that it isn't. It isn't. So before we get into it any further, this episode is brought to you by the third finger and the letters FU.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, guys. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com for more podcasts you will not find over here on YouTube. So we don't need to rehash all these articles. You know the drill. MAGA, right-wingers are mad.
The one I saw that made me mad, they're talking about Superman, this powers is kindness and decency. And then they basically go on to apply that something that people on the right don't have. And I'm like, no. And then they're going on about wanting people to be kind. People need to be kinder to each other, which I 100% agree. People need to be kinder to each other. And that's why I'm so flipping angry. Because I don't care if you like something or don't like something. It's when you start bullying people over it that claws come out. And I'm tired of the people that have spent the last, 10, 12 years vilifying anybody who didn't like cartoons or movies or things they didn't like, vilifying anybody who was white, straight, and male, vilifying, different political thoughts or different, things that weren't even based on political lines, turning it into political points like vaccines and stuff like that. And they spend all this time calling people istophobes, calling them names, being toxic, being complete assholes to people. And then people, of course, for a while, because it worked at first, I don't want to be seen as being a bad person, so I'll go along with you. And then it became people got tired of it. So now the reason people turned at the election last time is because, and they pointed this out massively, because they got tired of the far, far left being so ridiculous. And if you're anything right of far left, you're considered alt-right. And that turned people away because people got tired of the vicious, vindictive, nasty behavior and accusations made by these people at them, even if they weren't even doing anything wrong, just because they're, anything right or far left. And they turned the other way. And now the same people are saying, well, people should be kind to each other. Well, you first, bitch, because the thing is, it's like, you've been nothing but an asshole this whole time. The reason that people got mad and called you out was because of your behavior. You're terrible. And then I've seen the most vicious, vitriolic bunch of shit I've ever seen on X, and it was from the tolerant left. And I'm tired of hearing about tolerance. What you mean is, you do what I say, or I'm going to be intolerant to you. And I'm tired of it. So don't tell me about kindness. Because the reason people aren't so kind now is because they were kind and you were complete fuckers to them. And that's why they're not kind to you now. Now, I personally believe we need to dial it down a notch and go back to being kind, which is funny when you hear me say this, but I'm saying this as a reaction to the anger for this. People need to be kinder to each other. Superman was a fantastic example of being kind. Do not make it a political thing when it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is ironic. It is ironic that we have people calling for kindness now who spent years being very, very unkind. We have one YouTuber in particular was going on about how maybe they need to turn over a new leaf and be more kind. And they're all jazzed about being kind now. I'm like, you've spent the last 5 to 8 years just shitting on everyone, even friends. And you just shit on people.
Is this the person that called a woman a cum dumpster?
Yes. And okay. I was like, and just like yesterday, you went after a trans person again. Like, I don't want to hear your take on kindness when you've spent so long being unkind. I mean, if you really do turn over a new leaf and decide that you want to, better yourself or whatever, that's one thing. But it's really hard to take somebody seriously when their whole brand is unkindness. Yeah.
You can vouch for this. I will be kind to literally anyone unless they give me a reason not to be.
Yeah, it's kind of the way. I mean, people think we're horrible. I think they look at the thumbnails and they're like, they obviously think we're saying different things than what we're actually saying, because a lot of times I will admit I do troll people with the thumbnails and the titles of the videos to get you to click. But then once you actually watch the video, it's like, oh wait, that's not actually what. Like people
sometimes we do it on purpose just because it's always funny to us to watch these people like
they flip out. They go to Reddit and they're like, can you believe it? And it's like, you didn't watch the video because I said this, we said this, she said this. They never watched She-Ra. It's like, and you watch She-Ra. But yeah, so we do it intentionally. But there are a whole lot of people that are just looking to be unkind, to own the other side. Like, case in point, this cartoon's been making
absolute shit. And the guy's now he's whining on TikTok because MAGA people are mad at me. And it's they're like, a high five to you for triggering MAGA. And it's like, dude.
Yeah. So for those of you who are maybe listening to the audio version of it, we have a black Clark Kent, presumably. We got a woman saying, oh no, that guy's hanging off the building. He's like, oh no. Then next panel, somebody help. And it's obviously Superman. He's ripping open his shirt. Where? I don't see him, the other woman says. He's up there in the MAGA hat. And the Superman's like, oh no. And then it's like, he's falling. He's just whistling and buttoning his shirt up again. And
now look, this is asinine and bullshit. And I'd say the same thing if the person was wearing a Harris shirt. One, Superman would never do this. He would never do this. Two, this is just divisive dog shit, and masquerading as it's a comedy comic. No, it's not. You're being a dick.
You're fantasizing about your political enemies or people you don't like dying. And this is the thing. This is the thing that I see. If it was Harris person, I'd say the same thing. I see a lot. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to hear anything about kindness from people who literally fantasize about people they don't agree with being harmed, killed, out on the street.
If you on either side, if that's where you're at, you are the extreme. You are the extreme. And they always, and of course, if they're talking about extremes, even talking about extremes, I don't think it's right. Like I said, if you had an extreme Harris supporter that was head to toe, it was Harris in the comic falling off a building, I would have been like, oh, hell no, that's not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. And like Superman, real Superman, the reason people got so upset, or some people got upset with Snyder's Superman, was they did not think Superman would kill. Even Zod, even as Zod is trying to harm other humans, they didn't think Superman would kill. And there have been so many examples where Superman could have very easily killed the villain and it would have solved the problem, but he didn't do it. He chose to be the better person. He didn't do it. Superman.
Well, that's just it. You don't compare yourself to Superman when Superman chooses to be the better person, and that's how you behave. Do not portray yourself as Superman when you act that way, because he would never do that. Superman
would have saved that guy and then given him a talking to. Probably.
Probably would have. But
depends on what his actual politics are. If he's just a Republican wearing a hat, he might be like, hey.
This is the line I'm talking about here. This is the line. And then they're trying to make it, again, this political divide. And it's because now the media is running with, MAGA and Republic, and it's all MAGA. Don't like the new Superman because they don't like that he's kind. And that's not what happened. I can tell you for a fact, there is a bunch of people on the right who love the movie. And there are people on the left who didn't. And there are a bunch of people in the middle, like me, who, you know, thought there's good points to it, but there was a lot of like, it was a Justice, you know, crew movie, and it wasn't really a Superman movie, and there were problems with it. And you can get bent, but don't paint people with broad brushes that, like, if you didn't like it, you're MAGA. If you loved it, you're far left or whatever, or you're on the left. That's not true. And I'm tired of this. It's like vaccine argument. Oh, if you don't get vaccine, it's because you're a Republican. Except I knew a lot of Republicans who did get vaccinated, and I knew left people on the left who didn't. You're manufacturing outrage. You're manufacturing bullshit. And then they keep going down to it. It's because of immigration. And it's like, look, yeah, I don't think many people are arguing that Superman isn't an immigrant because he wasn't from here. Yeah. That wasn't up for debate. But if you're going to go about immigration, you know, the reason people are getting deported, now I'm sure there's some people that that have, you know, kind of got caught up in the middle that isn't the case, but the majority are getting deported because they're not here legally. And if you go to another country, they have laws in that country too. You aren't allowed to just go hang out there and stay there forever either. So how come it's completely valid for them to have laws, but here it's just where you're just not kind? Bullshit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's what's pissing me off is, like, I agree. I think Superman should be, like I said, I didn't have any problems whatsoever with this version of Superman. I think he's a good Superman in a movie that's not quite a Superman movie that's got too much James Gunn and too many side characters. But I think I like his portrayal, Corn Sweat's portrayal of Superman.
I do too.
But don't say kindness as you're doing shitty things. Case in point, Mark Waid, who looks up to Superman. He wrote Superman for years. He loves Superman, and he views himself as being Superman, but he does not act like Superman. He acts like Lex Luthor in a lot of ways, trying to keep people out of the comic book industry, using underhanded tactics and not confronting people head on, you know, being involved in whisper networks. And those are not things that Superman would do. No,
I said that back in the day when we were talking about like these networks coming out and some of the discussion of things that were going on. It's like, heroes don't operate in the dark. If you're operating in the dark and in shady places, that you're not the hero. But he goes on about, you know, bullying and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you are the last person to tell anybody about bullying.
Yeah, so this is coming from Bounding in the Comics. DC Action Comics writer Mark Waid, who's writing Superman right now. I think he's writing Superman now. Mark Waid rejects Superman immigration outrage. It's only an issue now because of the desperate efforts of conservative media to get attention for itself.
I agree that the media is causing, I mean, not necessarily conservative, it's on both sides. They're using this as a way to get attention, and they're making it into something that it's not. And it's unfairly maligning the film. The film has problems, but it's not because of that. And it's unfairly maligning it, and it's unfairly maligning people politically based on these things because a couple people didn't like it. That's bullshit.
So Mark Waid goes on the bender. Where is this? Facebook? I don't know where he's at right now. Facebook, yes. His personal domain. Surprised it's not Blue Sky. Puts this image up of Superman being hauled off by ICE agents. Please don't listen to former actor Dean Cain and his attention-starved cohorts. Despite what conservative media wants you to believe, the message
it's not just conservative media.
It's not just conservative media. They're trying to make a huge deal out of it all over the place. The message of Superman is not rah-rah immigrants. It's look at the amazing values, ethics, and morals someone not from here, no matter their native land, can learn from people who are good and kind Americans. How is that not the most patriotic message imaginable? No, and I do agree.
I agree with that. Yes, that's more what it was about. And he's right about that. But he went on to interviews and said more. That comment alone isn't untrue. Except for the fact that you're trying to paint it that it's only one side doing this. It's not. If you search it, it's across the board, and it's a ton of left-leaning media going on about MAGA says. So now everybody's like out there thinking anybody who voted for Trump hates Superman, which isn't even true. And a lot of people vote for Trump who don't normally vote for Trump because of this kind of stuff, and because of these kind of behaviors, and because of that comic we looked at, and because of the constant harassment and unkindness shown to them for years.
Oh, it gets better because this is,
I told you, he makes it worse.
You want to talk about considering the source, right? It isn't, I understand if someone has legitimately turned over a new leaf and they're like, you know what, I've done some bad things. I've really thought this through. I'm going to turn over a new leaf. I'm going to
show you with actions to show you that I'm legit.
Prove with action that I'm legit. But most people, they just talk. They never show. This is what he said in a Forbes interview. This is Mark Waid. If you haven't noticed that he's been immigrant refugee for the past 87 years, I don't know what to tell you. There are no merits to that argument. It's only an issue now because of the desperate efforts of conservative media to get attention for itself. No, it's all media. The whole point of the movie is that a child came to America with nothing and no knowledge of how to act, and he learned what is good and noble and right by growing up here. How is that possibly anti-American? Well, that I do agree with.
I do agree with that part. I do.
He is an American first and a Kryptonian second. I do agree with that. Every day, Superman is learning to be a better human. I don't see why that's a political message. The point of the movie is that we need to be kinder to each other.
Agreed.
This is Mark Waid, who has had many temper tantrums. Apparently,
called people names.
Gotten into
lawsuit over
physical or threats of physical altercations. As I understand it, there's a whole laundry list of people that have had their experiences with Mark Waid. So this is ironic coming from him. Bullies hate that because kindness takes their power away. It's their kryptonite. Any hint of compassion or kindness is perceived as weakness and derided as woke. And boy, that's not the message of Superman, but every superhero I've written and every superhero I can think of, dude, you act like a super villain. Like Mark Waid literally acts like a super villain.
I know. He's always out there having little baby meltdowns because his side didn't win. Don't lecture people on kindness, because you're one of the most unkind people I've seen, which surprised me at first. When it comes to comics and stuff and the things you put out there and say. I agree, though, that the movie isn't about what the media is spinning it to be. And I'm going to say media in general, because it's not all just on the right. It's media across the board. It is mostly about kindness, and he's not wrong about what the message is. The problem is you're not just leaving it at that. You have to make digs and act in opposition to the message itself that you're complaining about, whether it be you or other people. Right. And I hate bullying. That's why I'm mad right now and calling it out. If you watch our videos, it's usually me calling out bad behavior and bullying. And I hate it. I loathe it. I will not stand for it. And that's what this is. The reason, people are turned against these far extreme narratives is because they're sick to death of it. And Superman was not like that. Like, he's not wrong. It wasn't like what, some of the places were kind of spinning it as. That being said, if you truly believe in the message, why are you doubling down on the opposite of that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's just it. Cause it's really hard. Again, it's hard to take you seriously to go on about being kind when your whole brand has been toxic, right? Like, I'm not going to lecture people on, look, I've got my flaws for sure, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, everybody needs to be nice and not say anything and just keep your mouth shut and just be whatever. It's like, yeah, because I know I don't keep my mouth shut, No, when I get mad, when I get like this, is when I see unfair behavior, and it makes me angry. It's like that comic, for example. How it's like how dare you, drag Superman into this and act like Superman, would let that happen when he wouldn't, because you're trying to use it for your own political thing. And the fact that you would be happy if someone died. I can't wrap my head around that. Like, I don't care if someone thinks differently than me. I don't want them dead. If they were in the street and they were in trouble, I'd still help them because I wouldn't stop to ask first. And that's the difference between, I think, the normies, and I think most people are
sick.
Most people are sick?
No, this is sick.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think most people are good people. I think most people...
I do. I believe in the kindness of most people, yes.
Have a moral compass, but the extremism... Where you've got people, because of politics, you've got people that literally want other people dead because of who they are. That is unacceptable. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care what that is unacceptable.
Make a TikTok and whine about it more. I don't know what to tell you.
But we've seen so much fantasizing, especially from the comic book industry, especially from a lot of the activists in the comic book industry, which is so shocking. You're writing Superman, but you're like, yeah, these,
Well, even beyond that, like, when after the election happened, I can't tell you how many people I saw that were like, if you voted the way I didn't vote, you can't be my friend. It was always on the left, because the people on the right didn't seem to care. But it was over and over repeatedly. I kept seeing, if you voted for Trump, unfollow me now. If you voted for Trump, we're not friends. But I still want your money. But then they'd be like, I'm going to do a crowdfunder. I'm like, well, you better tell everybody that when your crowdfunder comes, that if you voted for Trump, you don't want their money. Why would I do that? That's bad business. I'm like, you just got done saying, I can't be friends with you. I can't associate with you. I can't talk to you if you voted one way. But you need to back my Kickstarter because I want your money. Or you need to come to my convention, even though I called most of the people in my area a Nazi for voting for Trump. because, I still need that money. It doesn't work that way, asshole.
I have heard through the grapevine that convention did not go that well.
Well, boo-hoo. Everybody knows what a dipshit that guy is. He's been an insufferable asshole forever. He keeps dressing Steve Jobs, for pity's sake.
But I wouldn't want him dead. I wouldn't want, humbled maybe, but dead, no.
I don't want harm to come to people who think differently than me, even the people that are here illegally. Okay, I think you should come through legal channels, and you should be not here. That being said, I would not wish harm on them. And it's like, I think most people in the middle are kind. And this whole idea that allowing bad behavior to continue makes you kind. It's like, no, Superman would follow the laws. That's bullshit. Don't tell me that. Like he would have, honestly, let's be honest here. Superman being Superman would have done what he could to be legal anyway.
Yeah.
But this whole idea that, and it just boils down to this. If you don't like illegal immigration, you're not kind. It's like, fuck off. I have no problem with people coming here legally. Your family, your step family were immigrants. And
yeah, well, actually, my grandfather's family
was immigrants. I mean, I'm sure everybody is at some time in their family an immigrant. Coming in legally and doing what you're supposed to do, and offering good things to the country and being like part of it is one thing. Coming in illegally, and then doing some of the stuff that's been being done, and then saying that it's not okay for you to be sent out is bullshit, especially when your own home country has laws and don't let people stay and do things there like that. I'm sorry. Suck a bag of dicks. I don't know what to tell you. It's still crap, and it doesn't make you unkind. I know. The irony.
Choose kindness. Suck a bag of dicks if you don't like it.
I'm tired of this because it's like the majority of people I think are kind. I have seen the best of humanity and the worst of humanity online, but I've seen a lot of the best of humanity online. And like where you see people in trouble and everybody rushes in to help, or like the one with the ride and it's tipping over and everybody rushes in to hold it down. I've seen people save other people. I've seen people run into burning buildings and save children. I mean, you've seen the best of humanity. And you see people saving animals and doing kindness and good all the time. And instead of focusing on that, people focus on the worst of humanity, sadly. But the worst of humanity is also on there too. But you can't, I think there's more good than there is bad. And I think people need to work on showing that there's more good, but it makes it really hard to want to help others when they're constantly calling you names.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. It's hard. It's hard to show compassion or kindness toward your enemies. And even, biblically speaking, I mean, you're not allowed to mention the Bible, even though Superman does espouse a lot of Christ-like personality traits.
Well, even when he was being hit with stuff kindness. And they were turning on him, he didn't wish them dead.
He didn't. He could put them all through a freaking building. He could just turn around and he could have just blown on them and the whole crowd would have. I mean, seriously, you don't want Superman to lose his temper, because he could wipe out the entire planet.
Right. But I'm just saying he doesn't though. The whole world turned on him, and he's even Lois seemed to be kind of questioning him too. And he didn't, it didn't make him bitter, but he's Superman. A lot of us, it makes people bitter when you're constantly being told you're a bad person because you don't like a Star Wars movie, or you are an incel, you are a bigot, you are a anti whatever because you don't like a She-Ra cartoon. I mean, it is, and then the dogpiling is insane. It's just look, even on this movie, I see people getting all mad because you liked it or you didn't like it. I'm at a point where if you don't like it, that's fine. If you like it, that's fine. The problem is when you cannot bully others. When you bully others, then I tell you to suck a bag of dicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a difference. One's kindness, but kindness only goes so far. And if you spent the last 10, 12 years being an asshole to people and they've turned against you, don't you dare tell them. It's like the people that were with the vaccine, if you shouldn't be allowed to eat in a restaurant, if you don't have a vaccine, if you don't have the right checkbox on you're not wearing the red check on your shirt, you can't eat here. And then when it came out, the vaccines were dangerous and all those other problems. They're like, oh, we just need to forgive and forget. You didn't show kindness then, did you?
Show kindness to us because we know you're pissed, right? That's
right.
Somebody used AI and did he's up there, the one with the short purple hair.
Yeah.
Stuff works both ways. But so I mean, look, if nothing else, regardless of what you actually think about the movie, if it winds up getting people to stop and think more, really think about what has been going on in this country, that we've been very unkind to people. I'm not talking about being tolerant of bullshit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just basic human kindness, that we've been, treating people as being less than human, dehumanizing people.
Just so we feel better about doing it.
Right. And we feel justified when you've got a whole mob of people telling you that you're in the right, even if you're in the wrong, and that's really what it's going to take.
Vice versa.
Right. People on, either side of it or whatever extreme, ideology they have, just be like, look, just because everybody's egging me on to be a shit person doesn't mean I actually have to be that shit person. And I think the left, and this is coming from a former Democrat, they really have to take a good hard look at the people they've let in, because you've let a lot of people in that delight in cruelty. They delight in the suffering of people that they don't like, anybody that disagrees with them.
It's messed up. It's like
it's really messed
illness.
up. It's messed up. The whole thing
it's just, a lot of people said that. They said that they'll tell the people who are on the right more, and they'll be like, it's okay if you voted for me, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions. I'm 100% sure, but and either extreme, just disregard those. I mean, just because they're like acting that way, we need to try not to get so affected by it. But I'm so tired of it. I think people are just tired of it. So we need to find common ground and be kind, just to offset their shit, because they're trying to stir up crap. And they're just trying to make this political, and they're trying to make everybody hate it. They're trying to make things like this comic, exist because they're leveraging the goodness of Superman to imply that a good person would let somebody else die because they voted the wrong way. Come on. And you also understand, right, that MAGA is a U.S. thing, right? So what about people from other countries? Are they all bad if they like or dislike? You know what it's stupid. It's so stupid. It's vile and it's stupid. Superman isn't about that. Stop leveraging it both in the media and in this. And we didn't even think this. I gave it like a 6.5 to 7. You gave it a 5 as a Superman movie, 6.5 as a superhero movie.
As a superhero team up movie, yeah, I would rate it better. As the Superman movie, I wanted. No, but Superman himself, yeah, they got Superman right.
Fantastic.
They got Superman right.
There's a lot of good elements. But the message is about kindness, and I agree with that. I mean, I don't like Mark Waid, but he's right about that. But he's wrong about bullying.
He's not practicing
himself. Exactly.
Preaching. That's what's so ironic, because I thought he wasn't able to write superheroes again because of the state of the country or something. He was so damn depressed.
Right.
Like that's it. Like if you're gonna preach that, before you tell other people what to do, the whole plank in the eye thing, right? You're going to have to practice it yourself. You can't tell people go be kind and understanding when you yourself are not.
And a lot of the people that I'm not saying him specifically, but a lot of people, especially on like social media, that are out there going on about, we need to be kind, we need kindness, and doing things like, like in this comic here or whatever. I'm just like, you look at these people and 9 times out of 10, they never do anything to help anyone else. Ever. Like they don't volunteer, they don't donate, they don't do shit to help
Permanently
others.
online, but
they want they accept everything that they should all be given to them.
Yes,
but they do nothing to help other people, and that's what pisses me off.
We see that all the time. Like I should get socialism and universal basic income and blah 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 blah. And
don't talk about kindness and helping others if you're not out there actually doing it.
Yeah, because the people that are actually out there doing it are not terminally online bragging about doing it. Actually, the people who are really kind, the people who are really giving, you probably don't even know. You probably don't know because they're doing it in secret. And again, that's, not to get biblical on you, but that is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to do kind things and good things and not brag about it or bring attention to ourselves.
And you show up physically, but a lot of times there are people from all across the board, but they're mostly in the middle. They're very rarely either extreme that's screaming about it. So it's like, if you want to see more kindness in the world, stop being a dick and making comics like this and go out and try to physically manifest that kindness in the world. Anyway, this is going long. I just really pissed off. I'm so angry about this whole thing. And then people are like, well, you're not acting very kind. It's like, I'm acting like this because I keep seeing this kind of stuff. And I'm so angry I could cry over it because I'm just so tired of the vicious vitriolic bullshit, and then the media out there, trying to paint things as something they're not, and then it's always being blamed on one side or the, and it's not fair. It's not right, especially when it's not even true.
So we're gonna wrap up here at the box office because I'm sure everybody's God. This whole thing has become like Snyder Bros versus Gun Bros versus.
I don't even think it's that.
Republicans versus
it's that.
Not even Republicans, like
Democrat, far left is trying to make everything out to be far right.
Everybody's using Superman, but they're saying overseas, like, people just don't really care. Jurassic Park's doing better. Those kind of movies usually do, though. The like just mindless dinosaur movies, mindless robot movies, they do better, I think. But that's probably why they put.
But you have to remember too, overseas though, to them it might look like, especially the conflict that he was stepping into, it might look like it's America trying to police everybody.
That is true. Like, oh yeah, of course America's got Superman. He's wearing the red, white.
Of course he's gonna do a country that's kind of like ours and act like And so I mean,
we need
them,
Superman to come in and save us because
It's like if you watch a movie from China, they're going to show themselves as the heroes. You know what I'm saying? Other country, you're always the hero.
That is true across the board. One thing I've noticed about humans, especially egocentric humans, is everybody is the hero of their own story. People that actually are showing growth or are self-aware or realize that they're not the center of the universe, and two, they're not the best person out there. You try. But the first step to becoming a better person, becoming a kinder person, is realizing you're probably not. You're probably
admit you have a problem. No,
yeah, admit that you have a problem, and people don't want to do that. They all want to be like, oh yeah, I'm Superman. I try to be like Superman. It's like, no, you're nowhere near what Superman is. But
none of us are.
None of us are, and that's why he's a superhero. That's why there's one of him. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this.
Yeah,
up.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm just so I'm livid, like blood boiling angry about it, because I'm just tired of it. And here they're starting it all over again. And that comic really made me upset, because like I would say the same thing. Like I said, if it was like you said, a purple hair person or someone wearing like a Harris shirt, I would say the same thing, that it was wrong and call it out, because it's just wrong.
Let me put it to you this way: we've had people that have actually harassed us in real life. And they've actually crossed the line. I think in some cases, they've stalked our children, whatever. I don't wish them dead. I think they should get some mental help, but I don't wish them dead. I don't want them to be dead. I don't want their family to have to go through that. I think they've got some mental problems. And if, they were going to get hit by a train, I'd do what I could do to get them out of the way.
I don't care. I mean, if you like were clearly different than me and you were in danger, I'd still try to save you. If I was within my ability to do so, I wouldn't look at you and be like, you're not worth saving. I would never do that. Because I think everybody's worth something, and every life has value, and I think everybody has people that care about them, and you just do what you try to do your best every day, and I'm just heartbroken over seeing something that's supposed to be such a positive message, even if I didn't like it as well as other people. It's just to use it in such a way is just awful.
That's it. That's what's so disgusting. Like, oh yeah, Superman, choose kindness. Now let's use Superman's kindness as a cudgel to attack the other side. Like, what the?
And they're making it. They're turning it into something that it's not. And it's just like, and I'm just angry. So anyway, let's wrap it up. Sorry it went so long.
There we go, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.